Hey everyone, it's Hunter, and I'm back with another Thomas the Tank Engine build. Today for you I have Percy the small engine, or the Northwestern Railway's number 6 locomotive. We got to see early on in the series how Percy was introduced to us, and I really, it's one of the episodes that have always stuck with me. I just like the, though it's very quick, I really enjoy seeing the little workshop with all the engines under the sheets, or whatever you want to call them, the tarps, even though as I got older, and I think a lot of the fans get older, they really know who's under all those tarps. Pretty cool. I still always enjoyed it, so I finally got around to making Percy. I've been building Percy for a long time, if you follow me on Instagram. Mainly because getting all the parts I needed was the challenge, as well as designing the coupling rod system. And really, this portion down here was easier. It was getting the piston on in the right place and making it stay on was the hardest part to do, and allowing this part of the coupling rod to come up all the way to create or to complete a full rotation. Very nice model, though. In the end, there are a couple gripes I have with it, some things I want to change. I guess we can go ahead and talk about those now since I brought them up. The coupling rods, I'd like to bring them in a little bit more. I'm looking at all different versions or different, methods. I know there's a website out there or a Bricklink store that makes custom Lego coupling rods. I'm considering looking into them right now. I'm looking at other ideas because as of right now, a lot of my locomotives are just going to be stationary. If I put them in larger mocks, like scenery, they're not going to be moving around, at least not yet, or not all of them. Percy would be one of those more static if I get more running or I get some running. But the coupling rod's one I don't want to say big, but one gripe. The piston is really fragile, how it stays on. I'm going to pick them up real fast. See, as you can see, each one's only held on by one stud. It's not a big deal, because like I said, as it being stationary, it holds up. If I just, I've let this build sit probably for several weeks now, and a lot of us who build with Lego know when you let it sit, it gets a little, more rigid, a little more stiff, stuck on there. So that's been really nice. Obviously, if I bump it hard enough, it will come off, but it's definitely holding on there better than what it used to. Obviously, going through and trying some parts, because as we all know, some Lego sticks better to other Lego, and it's just a part-to-part thing, whether it's how it's made, how worn it is, whatever. The last two things I'm not a fan of, but I can get past, is the funnel. Once again, just like on Thomas, you'll notice I have that angled plate that goes in 90 degrees, so I can put the funnel on it. Like I said with Thomas, I've accepted it. It's one of those, if I could go back and fix it, but it's just one of those Lego constraints that either I'm going to get a really weird looking kind of a gap with a round plate or round brick that I'm looking for, or I have this. Right now, this is what have in my part collection, and this is what I like. Again, looks good, doesn't look the best. Obviously, I'm sure there's some way to make it look better, but I enjoy this. It still kind of almost gives it that Lego feel. Last thing I'm not a big fan of is the viewing ports, or the windshield. Again, whatever you want to call them. I'm going to kind of go back between calling them windshields and viewing ports, or viewing windows. As you know, on all my other models, I use a 1x1 or a 1x2 brick with a hole in the middle. For right now, when I was building Percy, I couldn't gather up the parts I needed, or those types of parts in the green I was looking for. However, I came across some other parts that I was able to stick the round, clear, or translucent tiles onto, and they look good. They don't look bad. They don't look great, but they definitely do the job. I prefer the viewing ports, or the 1x1 bricks with the circle over these, but these are definitely a good secondary option without a doubt. Now that I went through talked about the stuff I kind of don't like, let's definitely get into the stuff I like. Again, he's a very compact model. He scales very well for Percy when I put him next to some of my other builds. Donald, Douglas, James, Thomas. He scales perfectly, in my opinion. The boiler looks great. The only issue is, as you probably see when you look at it from the front, you can see those red stripes on when you look at him face on. However, when you look at him from the side, it looks fantastic. I mean, I don't think you could ask for anything to look nicer. And in that case, I'm going to be looking for a large round plate to put on the front of Percy between the smoke box and the edge of the boiler. Looking at the front of Percy, I think I captured his face pretty well. Around season 3 is when the prime season I watched growing up as a kid. Seasons 4, seasons 3, seasons 2, seasons 5, and then obviously as I got older, the other seasons, like 12, or I'm trying to think, like 7, 8, 9, 10, then those kind of became the ones I watched more too. But around season 3 is the faces I'm trying to replicate. And what I decided to do is, instead of the usual curves I put on there, or angled bricks to give the head the round look, I wanted to get Percy's cheeks and Percy's nose. As we all know, he's got that little round nose. Almost him and James probably almost had the same nose. Lego-wise, they do have the same nose. And the models, I'm not sure. They're probably slightly different. But then he's got his cheeks. His cheeks, you often see them, are very pronounced, very known, at least when I look at the character. So instead of putting more of these kind of, these kind of angled bricks or plates, I went with the tiles, and I think they look well. They might not come off well on camera, but in person, I really like their look. As always, I got the driver, and then we have a 6, once again taken from the Thomas and Friends sticker book I have, so we got the 6 on each side. As we go around, we can take a look at the coal bunker. It looks very nice. Definitely one of the highlights of this build. If I had to pick one of the few things that stand out to me, it's definitely the coal bunker. It's just that black and gray accent against the green, and then having the red just down below. It looks fantastic in my opinion. You'll notice here too, you see a jumper plate. I'm experimenting with new ways to put the crew in and hanging out of the engine. So Percy's one of the first locomotives you're going to see with that design, or kind of me testing the waters with. But overall, that is Percy. If you have heard any noise in the background, that is my dog sleeping. But otherwise, I think this has been a very solid review. Please like the video, and if you want to comment, let me know what you think of this model. Please follow me on Instagram. There's always going to be the photos of the build itself, multiple photos and kind of description of it, as well as a photo of the thumbnail I use here on YouTube. That way everyone there knows I posted it, and it gives you all, as my YouTube followers, a place to comment now that the comments are gone. So once again, please like the video. Likes are really going to tell me, what I should keep doing, what I should not keep doing. And then, if you can, follow me on Instagram, because that's where I can get all your feedback. And I will see you in my next video.